the go. This is Valley News Live at 9 on Fargo CW.
This week, we could learn whether or not a local police department will fire one of their officers who's on paid administrative leave. Fargo Officer David Balki has been in the spotlight after an investigation was made public thanks to a petition in support of him that said he could be losing his job. But how did we end up at this point? Here's a timeline of how things went down. On March 28th, Officer Balki missed a court date where he was subpoenaed. That triggered an employee performance review where it was found Balki did not make reports for several incidents over the previous months. That led to a formal investigation on April 4th where he was accused of violating multiple department policies. An April 6th letter told Balki what he needed to do to get back in the good graces of his bosses. The next day, Chief David Todd claims Balki made comments during a meeting that made some of his colleagues think he wanted to harm them. He was placed on paid administrative leave after that. The investigation continued, and Balki at some point was allowed to go back to work because on June 1st, he was again placed on paid leave because the claims against him having a bad work ethic and not following the rules in place for officers were determined to be true. On June 9th, Officer Balki was told he would face termination over the complaint, and on July 17th, a predetermination hearing was held where Balki's attorney, Mark Freeze, questioned the department's findings and even presented lie detector test results showing his client was not lying about certain calls for service that he went to. Information on this story is still coming in. There are hundreds of documents to look through, so make sure you stick with Valley News Live for the latest developments in this story. Coming up after weather, find out what Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton recalled an act of terrorism, plus the story that's been shared hundreds of times on Facebook. An employee goes above and beyond for one special little boy.
And let's take a look at that Valley News Live Storm Team Skycam network shot in Fargo. Pointing off to the east, we saw mostly sunny skies in the morning, and with the daytime heating, we are seeing just a few passing clouds. Most of the rain has missed Fargo, well off to the east and well off to the south, as Fargo stayed dry today. 69 degrees right now in the metro area, 68 at Valley City and Jamestown, 66 at Devil's Lake, and we're holding into the mid to upper 60s as you make your way across most of Lakes Country right now. Here's the satellite loop. This is the last 6 hours. Most of the northern valley, the Devil's Lake Basin, northwestern Minnesota, staying dry. You saw the showers and thunderstorms moving through in the daytime heat and dissipating pretty nicely when the sun went down. Still a couple of areas of isolated showers. One is moving between Pelican Rapids and Maston, and another one is just off to the north and to the east of the Breckenridge area. And that's basically it for the moisture. But here's what we did pick up over the weekend. Now the greens on this map, 1/2 to 1 inch. The yellows, 1 to 2 inches. And we saw the bulk of the rain into portions of northeastern Otter Tail County. The Wahpeton Breckenridge area got a number of thunderstorms move through this weekend, and in a line out toward Lemoore and the Jamestown area picked up a lot of much needed rain. And speaking of much needed rain, the bulk of the moisture was in the drought ravaged areas of western North Dakota. 1 to 2 inches of rain falling between the Williston and Minot area, and 1 to 2 inches of rain just south of I-94 as you make your way south of Bismarck and Dickinson, approaching the South Dakota border. This will definitely help the situation with the drought out that way. So a really nice weekend for them in terms of getting rain. We got that frontal boundary to our south. We just can't get rid of it. So they saw the thunderstorms down there. We kept that northerly flow. So temperature's not that bad. High pressure is going to work its way in, and we will warm it up as we start next week, as we're going to see plenty of sunshine as we go through the day on Monday. Clear skies will be the story for tonight, and it will be cool. Temperatures into the upper 40s and lower 50s in most places. We keep the clear conditions and the northerly wind, and plenty of sunshine for the day tomorrow. Temperatures are going to reach in most areas the upper 70s and lower 80s. Fargo seeing a lot of sunshine across most of the viewing area. Again, mid 70s to lower 80s depending on where you are. Then for the day on Tuesday, we're tracking some showers and thunderstorms moving through into the afternoon and evening, mainly over our northern counties, and we will be a little warmer as most of us will reach the mid-80s. And as of right now, no severe thunderstorm risk for Tuesday. We'll definitely keep tracking that to see if it changes. Then for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, still a chance of some moisture in the area as temperatures fall back into the mid-70s, and then approaching that 80-degree mark for next Saturday. Still a slight chance of some showers and storms, and Sunday partly cloudy, a high of 83 degrees.
So not a bad week ahead, and that rain, like you said, much needed over here, but definitely out west.
Yeah, out west, really good news for them.
Thanks so much, Justin. Investigators are piecing together parts of an explosive device in an effort to find the person who threw it at a Minnesota mosque. The explosion rocked the office of the imam of the Dar al-Farouk Islamic Center in Bloomington near Minneapolis yesterday. The imam wasn't inside the office at the time, but as commonly is, and today Governor Mark Dayton visited the site and called it an act of terrorism. Leaders at the Islamic Center asked for a controlled response and for everyone to come together.
Our message today is hope, and we are hoping that the fear won't overtake our hope, and we will stay strong.
Thankfully, no one was hurt in the blast, but the damage is fairly extensive. A rollover crash early this morning killed one person and sent another to the hospital. It happened about 10 miles north of Hillsboro when a pickup truck with 2 people in it lost control while it was hauling a trailer. The trailer disconnected and the truck drifted into the median where it rolled. The passenger died at the crash site while the driver was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Authorities are investigating the crash and will release the names of the people involved once family members know about the crash. 2 construction projects are seeing some changes tomorrow in Fargo. A roadway section of 45th Street North between 19th Avenue North and County Road 20 and 16th Street North between Dakota Drive and 8th Avenue will be temporarily closed during the day. Crews on 16th Street North will be replacing rails at the railroad crossing, while 45th Street North will be getting some new pavement. You may have heard some loud explosions coming from the Red River Valley Fairgrounds this weekend, but there is a reason. The Pyrotechnics Guild International is hosting their annual convention. And Molly, you were there, so what is it all about?
It's a month past the 4th of July, and there's still some time until, Independence Day. But, they do like to still shoot off fireworks, and that didn't stop enthusiasts from showing up the Red River Valley Fairgrounds to show off their skills. They may be small, but they pack a boom. And for many, building and displaying fireworks is a passion.
Fireworks are good 365 days a year.
Tom Sklebar has been on the board of the Pyrotechnics Guild International for years and says fireworks attract all walks of life.
We've got medical professionals, we've got farmers, we've got lawyers, we've got doctors, nurses, paramedics, EMTs.
But the PGI convention isn't just for showing off. The primary goal is to educate those using fireworks how to do so safely, including kids.
They're coming to learn how to be safe.
Patrick Wandersee is the head of the Junior Pyrotechnics Association and says the kids are more cautious than adults.
We actually tell more parents, hey, you got to put your glasses on.
Whether a kid or adult, PGI members are able to build their own fireworks at the event to show off or compete with, but some have a bit more experience than others.
I know at least 3 people here that worked on the Salt Lake City Olympics.
While not all fireworks go as planned, with time, anyone with a passion for pyro can become a great fireworker too. And if you want to get in on the fun, there are public fireworks display shows on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at the Red River Valley Fairgrounds.
And I think it's so good that they mentioned safety. I mean, every 4th of July we hear someone blowing off their hand or being killed, which is awful. So it's glad that they're preaching safety out there.
They really are. They actually had their own mobile emergency room out there at the fairgrounds, and they said most of the time they actually only treat people for rolled ankles and, little boo-boos, but they actually haven't had too many big accidents there.
I will take a rolled ankle over a hand being blown off.
As will I.
Thanks so much, Molly. A week of festivities for the Fargo-Moorhead area LGBTQ community kicks off tonight with the FM Pride volunteers lining the streets of Broadway with pride and transgender flags. Activities including everything from bowling to dance parties will lead up to next Sunday's big Pride March and rally. All this is to celebrate acceptance in the community, but also educate people and help them understand their neighbors.
But really, don't be afraid to ask questions, educate yourself. That's probably the biggest piece of it. And in some cases, that might just be befriending somebody who is a member of the LGBTA community, who is passionate about and is willing to share that information.
Everyone is invited regardless of whether you're a part of the LGBT community or not. And for more info on this week's events, head over to fmpride.com or visit their Facebook page.
For something like this to happen, a stranger, there's a lot of good people out there, and just a little thing like this, sorry, makes my heart feel good.
This next story has made the hearts of many of you feel good. Parents want their kids to go out into the world and have the best possible experiences. But that's sometimes hard to do if your son or daughter has special needs, unless they meet people who are patient and understanding with them.
Jump just like me.
A chance encounter brought Nick on the left and Sage on the right together at the indoor trampoline park Sky Zone in Fargo. Sage wasn't comfortable jumping around until he met Nick.
Sage didn't want to jump, he said, because all the commotion or whatever, he doesn't like it when it gets too loud. He has to wait for a while to get comfortable. But he met Nick. Nick approached George and asked, what if I cleared it out for him and then so he can, get used to it.
This was the result. George is Sage's uncle, and he shared this picture showing the heartwarming moment Nick was able to make Sage feel comfortable. It's been shared and seen by hundreds, if not thousands, of people.
I just saw that a child wasn't having his maximum amount of fun, and I talked to my coworker, and we just decided that we could open up a court just for him because that would be the best situation for him.
It's beautiful, and I appreciate Nick for seeing him trying to exclude himself out, and then Nick, just a wonderful guy with a good heart, seeing this child he didn't even know and was like, nah, this kid's gonna have fun, and he let my kid have fun, and now he feels a part of it, and we came back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sage's family says they hope their story inspires people to be a little more kind to those you come across. Still ahead tonight, a meeting between U.S. and Russian officials.